Today, we're going to eat some food. Going where nobody's gone before. What is this? I don't even know. I don't even remember what the fuck this is. The homeless people have given me something. Some cake and custard. Like, wow. Like, you better feast your eyes on this. You know, when you blow all your money in Black Swan, you have no fucking option other than to go to the places where they're giving it out. Wow. So, you fucking black pill, red pill, blue pill, lookskaks people better be taking inspiration here, because this is mastication. Look, you need to sit up. Wow. I can feel it making progress. Some of you might think, like, you know, you can't make any progress past a certain age. Well, I'm fucking 25 and damn, like, let's have a look. Right, you have a look at my skull a while ago. This is showing off. Now, I don't know if it looks shit from that angle, but I don't really care. So, I'll be whopping. I don't even know what it is. I don't know what I'm asking the question. All right, so you can pretend like you're interested. So, I made a fucking, like, how to improve the skull video, and in between the grub I will show you how to do it, because if you look at my skull a while ago, you will be able to see that I've done it effectively. Now, whether or not I look like, you know, I'm a model and I do my little turn on that catwalk, whether or not I can qualify for that isn't important here. The question is have I made progress? So when you're eating your fucking, like, I don't know, your Rustler's burger, make sure you're chewing it properly. Ideally, you get, you know, you bite off more than you can chew, people. Like, look at this here. Wow, both sides of the mouth. Sit up, man. Whoa. Charles. Mr. Fox, this isn't Charles. Who's this? This is an imposter. This is Charles. I've demoted of my real status. I don't know the meaning of the word. How's it going, Charles? Again, cute. Listen, it's up to the beholder whether you're cute or not, but I bet you are. And look at me. Ooh, I'm cute. Oh, yeah, anyway. You know, when people are putting, like, vanity Facebook profiles or whatever, why don't you just do this? That looks way better than this. Ooh. I can't deal with it anymore. It makes me want to murder people. Was it a joke or was it the fucking truth? I'm not so sure. Right, the cake's done. Right, my hands are cleaning up. I haven't shook the hands of anybody who's been picking up naps today. Don't forget the half face with the hair. Funnily enough, the worst filter is the one on Snapchat or whatever the fuck it is the one where it has cute all over the fucking face. Like, wow, like, this is self-imposed nonsense. But anyway, if you want to look really cute, then you like do a few things here. Like, look, right, I'll be serious for a minute. The relationship between the muscle and the bones, if you know anything about mewing, it applies to the entire body. So if you've got tense muscles or undeveloped muscles, the bones will be affected throughout development, and even if you're not growing. So what you want to do, if you're all fucked up, is you want to, like, you know, like, this is just the skull, but it applies to the entire body. Like, people focus only on the fucking tongue. Like, look, we'll start at the fucking basics here. Tongue, what can you do with it, right? Look, I'm the devil. They say that's bad. And they also say using this here, this is the cack hand. Look, you can't use that because it's associated with the creative side of your brain. I wonder why they were doing that. Anyway, so here's a tip for you, right? If you're mewing, this is something that I figured out. If you sometimes your throat can get tight, especially if you're smoking toxins 24/7 like me. So you want to take a big deep breath through your mouth and then sort of like pressurize it in your throat and then push your tongue up and swallow with the air pressurized in your throat. And if you do that, you might get some sort of conscious effect. It shifts the energy in your body because the fucking, like, the nerves, I can forget what the nerves called, but it runs through this part here. And, you know, if you've ever done any kind of breath work or anything like that, you'll know that this nerve here, very, very important and very, very sensitive. So you do like this. You might feel a bit lightheaded sometimes if you do that. You know, you want to massage all the fucking shit in your skull, because if all this is, if the fascia is tense, you're going to get bent out of shape with that. You know, the cheekbones is a ridge, right? If you can change your bone structure with muscular pressure, then you can basically do it in a somewhat unnatural way. And that's proven by, if you look at certain tribes, they put weights on certain sides of their body to morph their bone structure. So you could get your thumbs and push it, kind of massage your bones like this. And over time, if you do that consistently, that will actually make your cheekbones more protruded. And the same applies to the jaw. Get your thumbs under here. You know, when I was an insecure idiot, I used to hold my right like this. Oh, when we get a ring, you know what I mean? So you want to hold your teeth in a proper bite, yeah? Don't be clenching too much, because if you're mewing properly, these will get activated anyway. Thumb pulling, you've already talked about that. You know, get your thumbs all the way to the back, massage it out, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to do it now. I'm fucking eating. My hands might not be that clean. You know what I mean? You want to wash your hands before doing that type of thing. What else? You know, general... Hang on, somebody said something. I edited my face and replaced it in text with scrubber. Excellent choice of word. I feel like eating apples is a good start. Yeah, but when people say about eating like tough foods, like, yeah, it's fucking like, what are they now? Incisors, like, that's incisor. That, consider the functions of the teeth. You know, if you want like these to be developed, you need to start picking up meat and tearing it, because that's what fucking these are for. You know, molars. It's obvious, like, chew tough stuff. I mean, like, you look at Mike Mew Chai Challenge. Like, I don't know if you know, like, he hasn't broadened his mind. Honestly, like, he's on about carbs. Like, if you get a baguette, like, that's a fairly tough thing to chew, to be fair. So you get a baguette and go to town on it, put it on both sides, and you'll be like, you know, it'll be aching by the end of it. We're gonna have, like, not that. I want a banana. So, especially if you leave it for days. Well, the apple, you might end up tripping. You might, 1 minute you're in a garden, like eating fruit. Next minute, some deity says you can't have fucking stuff off that tree. Then a serpent comes over and says, you better have it. And then your girlfriend says, like, listen, like, have you got the wallet? And you're, what are you on about? Look, like, we need to go fucking have a wash in river. So, no, I'm looking at these leggings here. So give us the apple. You bite it. This is a banana, but no, yeah. Quite like this shirt here. But now we need to go to Primark. It's too expensive here. Garden of Eden? Well, I'm not so sure what you're on about. Anyway, we're going fucking like KFC in a minute. Don't be leaving apples out and eating them. So, this is the comeback here, and this is the climax of the entire story. Like, it's me eating a banana. Anyway, it's all downhill from here. You know what I mean? If you want to stick around, that's your problem. My 2 loyal viewers here. What do you want from me? Why have I even turned this on? Because I'm in immeasurable pain and you're giving me company. We've got some music in the background as well. I mean, what more do you want? This is premium, this. My horns are getting in the way. The Garden of Eden would be first shit after 15. I know, that's exactly my point, mate. Why do you think troublemakers come around? They're not even the ones causing trouble. The trouble is a lack of evolution. As soon as people start fucking listening to Mad World in their head and going in loops and like, the Aldi, we better like be talking about Marcus Rashford's form and like fucking like go into the 9 to 5. After a certain amount of time, somebody's going to get some sort of bright idea that this is all crackers bullshit. I mean, even the people who think that they're on top of the world are still going round in a fucking carnal loop. I ain't got nothing to drink, so, this orange will have to do. Anyway, how are you, Charles? You're the only one of my viewers that I actually know. And I can see you've transcended into a fox. Don't be swiping now. Swiper. There's some fucking foxes. I've been sleeping in the wild, right? There's some foxes. They never fuck off. Like, I just sneezed. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, Charles, because it's the closest bodily function to an orgasm. You know what I mean? I look forward to sneezing, me. I wish I did it more often. I'm hunching over because we've got to position this better. Will this work? But I end up breaking my fucking phone here. Hang on. The ingenuity here. Here we go. Right, I'm gonna squat. This is if you squat a lot, it's gonna get the blood flow into your fucking perineum, into your ball sack, into your chrysanthemum. Or whatever reproductive organ you like your pronoun deems you have, you know what I mean? Some people identify as a wasp with fucking ADHD. So it's entirely your prerogative. You know, I have a philosophy from the 1960s in my head, so, you know, each to their own. But right, where is the line to be drawn when there's people fucking saying all this pronoun nonsense, and there's people with misaligned perceptions, there's people locking women into fucking cupboards, there's people like ranting in the street about Jesus, and then, you know, if somebody has a vision that is relative to a religion that has a fucking narrative and a place in society, and then somebody has a vision of, like, I don't know, the Wigan mascot like banging on about the brig, like, well, all of a sudden that person has some sort of problem and needs to be medicated. I'm not so sure. Where's the line to be drawn here? They crack on like they understand the human brain. It's the most complex thing we have in our perceivable reality. So all these linear fucking like conceptions of mental health. Schizophrenia is a pretty broad term. What makes you think they've even fucking understood it properly? You know, I was talking to a bloke the other day around here, and I picked my nose to make it happen. What you should do, Charles, is get a load of herbs and put them in a bag. Because when I was in school, right, they were doing this Tudor thing, and we had a lot of herbs in this bag. Like, I don't know, like what the fuck it was about. Maybe something to do with plague. I don't fucking know. Didn't even happen in Tudor times, but honestly, I had a sneeze, right, and it was like a fucking machine gun. Honestly, it was like 900 rounds per minute. Never felt anything like it. So if you want to do that, Charles, I'd go and get a load of herbs and start snorting them or something. You'd be off your head. So, you know, we don't want to be eating. I want a chicken butty. I was going to eat the tuna, but no. We can eat the chicken and appreciate the fact that it was mistreated, and the chicken can be happy that I'm eating it and I give a shit. Cheers, Jeff. And it's Jeff Shrews with the chicken butty. Cheers, Jeff. No, what am I? What am I doing? You know, before you end up in a midlife crisis wondering why you're going to Betfred, you need to go on a journey of some sort and break the loop that you're in. Otherwise, at some point, you're going to realise that your heaven's going to be looking at like fucking Bart Simpson clipping through wall. I hate it when people say animals are killed humanely. I saw a video of a pig getting electrocuted the other day on a fucking conveyor belt. You know, and before that point, it wasn't treated well. Look, like, they can make the argument like there's loads of people, mass production is necessary. But what is our values here? Like, that's a living creature. You know, watch the scene out of Avatar. He kills the fucking blue deer, but actually shows it respect. That's the point. That's what you're supposed to do. Reality demands mortal sacrifice to sustain life force, but show it some fucking respect. I mean, you know, everybody should have to hunt at some point at least, because otherwise, if you're just getting it from Asda, you're not going to appreciate the fact that something's actually, you should be made to kill an animal if you're going to eat animals. It should be like a rite of passage. You know, like fucking in tribes, like the men have to wear like bullet ant gloves to go and kill a lion with a spear, which I don't necessarily agree with, but they don't know any better, do they? Stuff like that. In order to create the right relationship with aspects of reality, you need to be able to understand the value of sacrifice. That needs to happen. because we've got all these disconnected idiots that don't really appreciate anything. And it's no wonder, because we've lost our entire value structure to consumerist nonsense. You know, you're not the car you drive, you're not the contents of your wallet, you're not your fucking Yeezys. Well, it's not necessarily you that isn't human, is it, Charles? You know, you can't just stop all that from happening on a fucking, like, whim, can you? Like, all that shit's going to take time to stop. But, you know, if an intelligent alien race came to this planet and see the way that we're behaving, I don't think they'd be very happy about it if they actually had any moral fucking standpoint. And I wouldn't be surprised if they'd fucking eviscerate us. It's a good thing that the universe is a very fair place, and people think that it isn't, but in my experience it is. Karma's a very, very curious thing, very strange thing. And if we're to become that collectively intelligent, you know, or like virtue-oriented sort of like alien race, whether it's supposed to be like, you know, interdimensional travel or star travel or whatever the fuck it is that it's supposed to be. Whatever we're doing now, this isn't adolescence. This is a toddler gone mad, this. It's absolutely stupid. And I don't claim to be the man with the answers. I claim to be somebody who wants to fucking contribute to it actually propagating properly. That's all I am. And you know, the problem is most people don't actually want to go through the fucking sting and pain of truth and evolution. They want to stay in the little bubble. But what they don't realize is that a lot of these deities, right, and it's not people's conceptions of gods and all that sort of stuff, like, it's transcended characters and entities that represent aspects of duality. So these fucking these transcendental entities are looking at you, and you have a subconscious agreement with them in order for them to teach you how to actually become and something greater and evolve. So as somebody who's just been sitting by and wasting the gift of life, like, I hate to break it to you if that's you, and it has been me in the past. I'm not like you know, or this applies to everybody. If that is you, I hate to break it to you, but this idea of hell is basically like forced evolution when you decide to like just waste and coast the gift of life. Because what we're supposed to do is grow. And if we're not doing that, we're fucking doing it wrong. And this has all been sabotaged. I don't understand the depth of why. I'm starting to get to the bottom of a lot of things. And it revolves around people's like, it's like subconscious fucking nonsense that has gone on because of karma and brainwashing and that. But it all, as far as I can tell, it all comes down to the last person with like spiritual responsibility. Now, when it comes to Jesus, I don't necessarily know that Jesus came over here, like, you know, had a wife and zapped somebody with lightning, said like, make us a butty, and then like said like, you will remember it wrong so that somebody else has something to do. I don't know. All I know is that we're in the present and we have to deal with this. And in my opinion, we have to be relative and like warriors, because the universe, I've had experiences that clue me into like what some of these entities are like in the universe. They're like parasites. They're not going to play nice. So the idea that turning the other cheek's going to work, it isn't. And I've put it to practice with a lot of the fucking idiots in my life. It doesn't work most of the time. Trust me. If you turn the other cheek, you know, you and the people you love are going to get hurt. And I'm not saying people should go around cutting like heads off for no fucking reason. Like, that isn't what I'm saying at all. It's relative, and it's to do with, like, situational awareness and all that kind of thing. So, yeah. Anyway, it's all a work in progress, and all in all, without being too intense, like, life is supposed to be fun, but the fun of it is the risk and the obstacles when it's at its best. I've come to find it just takes a while for you to actually accept that. I still haven't fully accepted my journey because mine happens to be quite difficult, but that's a good thing, because if it's difficult, it means the universe is saying, like, you're fucking capable of this here. You need to trust yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah. Anybody that's causing unjust suffering and will not listen to reason, they have to be stopped. It's the bottom line. I mean, look at any story, right? Like, look at the best characters, like Maximus Decimus Meridius or somebody like that. If he'd just said to the emperor, like, "Oh, well, we'll just let you off," like, what? He wants to push the knife in his fucking throat because he killed his wife and daughter. I'd say that's pretty fair. You know what I mean? So, what this situation demands is, like, psychic warriors, people who can battle psychosomatically and physically. Because we're like, I've noticed, right? It's how it goes. There it is. They'd laugh at, but they always fucking do, mate, don't they? They're always gonna laugh at you. That's the weapon, the ridicule. Anybody with a point, right? You look at history, anybody who starts speaking the truth, they get ridiculed, and the truth, like, gets basically muzzled every time. But at some point, there's going to be a shift. I know there is, and I want to be a part of it. And whether I die doing it or not, it doesn't interest me at this point, because unless you do something in the name of love and truth, there's no fucking point in, unless, if you ask me. And yeah, you might get twisted and fucking filled with rage along the way. I know I will. At the end of the day, you've got to fucking, like, what else are you gonna do? Honestly, like, what else are you gonna do? Like Jordan Peterson said it. You pick the highest aim, right? And you'd come to the decision that is, like, the best thing that I can do. It's like, well, if that's the best thing you can do, why would you do anything else? Have you got anything better to do? I mean, seriously, like, that's why the universe protects people. And you're still going to come to some grim end at some point. That's the way it goes. But what makes you think that you're not just going to wake up somewhere better after you've given that sacrifice? You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. It hurts. This fucking life hurts, and it hurts for a reason, because it's a transformation. Yeah. You've got to have fun. The lads in the trenches that died just because, for some stupid political reasons, they're getting shot at and bombed. They can just have a cup of tea and laugh about the mortars eventually. You know what I mean? You have to deal with it. How else are you going to deal with it? Humor's the best medicine. So, when I'm talking about all this stuff like devil and stuff like that, right? I'm not going to go into all the depth of my meditations on that at the minute, because I've not fully uncovered it all. But do I actually sound like somebody who's fucking, like, look, right, the prophecy of the Antichrist is somebody that is supposed to pose themselves as a being of love and then only bring destruction. You're damn right I want to destroy certain things in reality. Anybody, look, right, I spoke to this fucking woman the other day, right? Character is relative, and it's to do with duality, to do with light and shadow and all that kind of thing. This woman was cracking on like people are definitively like empaths and narcissists. I see it all over fucking YouTube, and it enrages me, to be honest. Like, anybody can act narcissistic relatively. Anybody can be psychopathic and lack empathy in a certain dimension. And everybody has the Machiavellian traits like manipulation. This woman was talking about being an empath in a narcissistic way, and when I pointed it out to her, she called me a narcissist. Why do you think I keep talking about mental projection? Honestly, right? Do you know why that's a big thing in reality? Because often people look at like reality, they can only look at reality through the narrow fucking lens of their own perception. So they're projecting their own fucking perception onto you, a lot of people. Now, somebody else is still doing that, but has the wisdom to realize that somebody else might actually see it in a way that is broader. And that's the person that can actually learn from other people. Other people, they have this narrow fucking perception, and often they end up fucking. It's not just a woman thing, mate. It's a fucking retard thing. These types of people, right, are the same types of people that, like, you know, just copy what other people do. You know, some celebrity work. You might do it as a kid or something, like, you know, everybody's got the fucking chinos on or whatever. I want to. Why am I getting left out? But, like, you know, be fucking original. Like, that's my message to everybody. Like, everybody wants to be like Jesus. Everybody wants to be like somebody. Like, oh, we better like idolize this guy. No, you learn from different characters, but essentially become the best version of you. And if you want to think about some god as like an actual entity, then that's what the entity would want for you. If it's a good god, it wants you to be you in all your blossoming colors. Yeah, like, it's not just a woman thing, mate. Like, I've met some terrible fucking women, me, but I've met some fucking idiot men as well, you know. Come on, dude, let's not be misogynistic. But anyway, fucking women, you know what I mean? Send me mad. I said women send me mad. I don't even know where to begin with them, me. They're a fucking alien race. Anyway, I'm interested in the alien race. Like, I'm Captain Kirk, me. What the fuck's in this one? Right, here it is. Life is like a bag of fucking laughs. What is this? Oh, this is cheesecake. Yeah, we'll do a dance here. Working out. Never did no harm. Never did no harm. It's there. It's coming up. It's coming up. It's coming up. It's coming up. It's there. Ah! I wonder what song's going to come on next. Anyway, we've got some fucking... You know, when we were working down Tarpit, we didn't even know what cheesecake was. It was bread and fucking lard. Aliens. Yeah, you got that right. You've got to press it on you. You've got to eat the cheesecake. If you want to have a laugh, right, look up Sean Ryder, like, drunk der performance. He says, like, Dermy, go on, but it sounds like he says debit card. And he's like absolutely off his head on stage. You know, like everybody's turned up for like Dur's coming on, and Sean Ryder's like a mess on stage. It's well funny. I know my dad told me, right, you know, my affectionate father, you know, he told me that they were in Sean Ryder was in some restaurant at one point, and he said, like, you know, it was like some fucking garnish, like, food. He said, like, fuck this, I'm going for a Kentucky. And then they found him in his car, like eating a chicken burger and shooting up smack. Well, funny. You know, we don't want this fucking shit, Gordon Ramsay. Like, we'll have a Kentucky and some opium. Anyway, this cheesecake's all right. Yeah. You want to see some of the physical specimen? Whoa. You act like I've been doing nothing. Probably looks shit. Look at this here. This is the human body in its finest form here. Whoa. I like showing off. Everybody acts like they don't like showing off, and then they're on Facebook like posing and shit. Well, fuck off. I tell you what, I play up to it, me. Look. Anyway, it's all about misery, and we need to go to like Sainsbury's for the 9 to 5. Now, because that's what I'm outside. Sainsbury's. You know, there's some twat security guard, right? I was brushing my teeth in the men's toilet. Somebody fucking reported it. I'm there like, right, mate, this is your place of business, whatever. But I'll say my piece. I said, like, this is a stupid rule. This, like, this is the gentleman's toilets, you know. What the fuck is this? Like, this is just Nazi Germany. As far as I fucking make out, mate, like, sinks are pretty versatile tools. You know what I mean? Fucking idiots. I mean, round here, it's that posh twat city. There's good people, like, but there's other stuck-up knobheads in this area. So, you know, if you're brushing your teeth in a sink, for some reason, they have a problem with it. I mean, what are they against fucking oral hygiene? What is that turning you off, that, pal? What? Sean Ryder will be me tomorrow when I have to wake up early. It's going to be a shit day. What makes you think that what makes you think that it's not going to be worse than you think it is? No, seriously. It might be the best day of your life. You never know, Charles. And it might not even be for a big reason. It might be for, like, you know, a nice simple day where you make a load of progress, nobody bats a fucking eyelid. You don't get, like, you know, ending to fucking Star Wars A New Hope, like, medals and shit. But you go to sleep that day and you think, like, fucking hell, you know what I mean? I've grown. That's what every day is like for me now. Some days better than others, though. Sometimes I still fuck it up. I don't know what happened then. But that's what it's all about, progress, isn't it? Are you growing as a soul? Are you growing physically? I mean, we're in a physical reality. You want to, like Socrates said it, I don't read philosophy, but I let things come to me. I find that to be a good way of learning. You know, drop the fucking cheesecake, a bit of it. If you don't attain like a good state of physical health, like where your body's strong and capable, you're missing out on life, really, because neurological stimulation is why you do anything in this reality. You know, you smoke a cigarette, it's stimulating your fucking nervous system. You play a game, it's stimulating your nervous system. So move your fucking body. You know, if you sat there doing nothing, are you wondering why you're feeling shit? Move your body. Dancing's the best thing, in my opinion, because, you know, creative expression is like, I mean, like if you're like a fighter or something and you know how to dance and you have good range of motion and you're like acrobatic and shit, like, you know what I mean? You're gonna be able to fucking trick people and shit. Because that's it, it's an art of bodily deception. You get like one up on somebody else by making a movement that they can't anticipate. Same with football, same with anything. And that's why people that don't think that deception is a very important aspect of consciousness don't understand that it can actually be used in a positive sense. And that's the same with the dark triad traits. Work out in the snow. Yeah, I will when it snows next. They want you to use the toilet. Yeah, well, I did fucking use the toilet, but I need to brush my teeth, mate. We have to wait 6 months or so first, though. Yeah. I'd be surprised if it snowed in June, but I won't put it past the universe. The aliens might decide that it needs to snow. Right. I am going to make some other videos here, but listen, Charles, Mr. Fox, thank you very much for sticking by, and so anybody else that came to see me on this lovely night tonight, I wish you all the very best. Thank you for watching.